And welcome back to the Angry Teacher channel. I'm Richard Williams, the Angry Teacher, and I've been missing for a while. But I thought, it's a new year. Let me make some videos. Now the lighting sucks because it's overcast outside. I'm literally sitting by the window and hardly any light is coming in. I have 3 bright lights on me, blinding me right now, and it's not making a difference. So hopefully you can see something, or at least just listen to the words. With that said, I'm going to be giving you my Q4 report from 2023. I think I've done all of the previous 3 quarters, and now I'm going to do the 4th as we begin this new year, and then I'll give you the new one for this year. But later that's going to happen, obviously, because this is January 3rd, I believe, at some point. Haven't gone back to school yet. I go back next Monday, which is the 8th, but I want to show you something. I got this as a Christmas gift from one of my kids. Yeah, baby. Now, if the kid means it, I don't know. It's probably just to get me to give them a better grade, but it's not going to happen. It's just a cool mug. So I'm drinking my Rise coffee out of it now so I can focus and get this video done. I've been trying to get this video done for the past 2 weeks since we've been on break. Life just kept lifing. So here's what's gonna happen. Or Q4 reports, TPT report. Let me get started. We're going to do October, November, December. All right, let's get started. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm going to give you the data from last year versus this year and then total it up at the end. And then, my typical takeaways. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories that each month has. And so let's get into it without any further delay. Views for October. Last year I had 2,500 and let me move this. 2,528. This year I had 3,166. Views went up like through the roof. October was great with views. Conversion rate. Last year it was 7.4. This year 4.4. Don't get me started. It went down. Not crying over that spoiled milk. All right, units sold last year, 186. Units sold this year, 138. So I went down significantly in how many units I sold. Did it hurt? Does it hurt? Yes, it does. But I gotta keep on trucking. Previews. Preview views. Last year was 46, this year 31. So a lot less people, because I guess less views, so a lot less people are looking at my previews. Makes sense. I do $50 days, and where those days where I make $50 or more on TPT. So last October I made 10 $50 days. That was like astronomical. This year I made 7. Not that many, not that much of a difference, but it is that much of a difference. I will say, I'm sorry, not 10, 11 $50 days. And I try to be as honest as possible. I've had a lot of almost days, like $45, $49. I've even had one that was $49.95. I'm like, come on. But, I'm trying to be honest. It's not 50. I'm not rounding anything up. Keeping it as it is. Hopefully I do better for this year. Okay, so my earnings last year were $13.74. This year, $10.41. So I went down $333. Yes, that's a lot. Yes, that hurt. Yes, it's the Christmas season and traveling, and all my monies weren't coming together because I started the 4th quarter with a deficit. But November was around the corner, so I had to just keep pushing, right? So that's my October. November. Last year, my views were 1,784. This year, they were 3,002 views. That went up a whole lot. Like a whole lot. Excited. Conversion rate 7.1% last year, and this year it was 5.2. So my conversion rate, a lot of people are looking now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just not doing, the sales are not, sailing enough. Where am I getting this thing from? These kids are getting in my head. Units sold last year 126. This year, however, I sold 157 units. So even though it was converting less, I sold more. I don't know what's going on, but I like it. Preview views. Last year, I only had 29 preview views, and this year I had 37. And by this year, I mean 2023. You know what I'm saying? So that was astronomical. I appreciated that. I loved it. It's not a lot, but it's more than, okay? $50 days. Last year, November, I made 3 $50 days, like 3 of them. Now, bear in mind that in my district, we had Thanksgiving for a week. So teachers probably didn't buy as much. They were like winding down and they didn't care enough to buy any extra stuff. I'm sure other districts were like that. Or even if it's less than a week, they were still winding down. We're just going to finish this up until, so they weren't buying anything new. I get it. So I only had 3. However, this year I had 5 $50 days. Thank you. My earnings last year were 2022 was $730. Whoop whoop. And I've told you before, I believe, I had to change my, and I think Becca Davis is the one who reminded me to do this, or reminds us to do this. When you have your financial goals set for each month, because of the holiday months and where teaching is seasonal, if you will, we have to focus and adapt and change our financial goals for each month. And since this was November, Thanksgiving, and December is around the corner, I had to change my financial goals. So it had to be significantly less because people are shopping less during that season. So last year I made $730, and this year I made $995. Yes, $995. I wanted to go on and just buy myself some for $5 just to make it to 1,000, right? But yeah, so I went up $265. I'm very grateful because that never happens in November. And I think one of the things I did, well, I'll tell you about it later in my takeaways. All right. So November was good. October sucked a lot. November was good. December is here. Views for December were 1384 last year. This year, 2152. Excited! It went up in December. Now, what are you looking at in December? Because most districts, most teachers are out for 2 weeks. Thank you for looking, whatever you're looking at. I appreciate it. Conversion rate last year was 7.6. This year, 5.4. Units sold last year 105. This year 116 units sold. I'm excited. I'm just elated that people are buying so much in the 2 weeks that we had in the building. Good job. Hey Popcorn, you're back. All right, so preview plays or preview views last year was 27. This year 31. So that went up too. People were opening up the previews. That works. $50 days. Now here is, more than I expected. Last year, 5 $50 days. This year, 3 $50 days. It is what it is. And then my earnings. Last year, I made $725 in December, and this year I made $665. Yes, I went down, but it's only $60. Yeah, I am disappointed that I didn't meet the goal, or at least beat last year's. But it was only $60, so I'm not too upset about it. Because during the Christmas season, just for me to make that much, $600, that's saying a lot. I'm just so excited about that. Okay, So overall, my so last year overall for this quarter four rather, I'm sorry, I made 28.29 in the 3 months, and then this year I only made 27.01. So I lost $120. I am not too disappointed. That is like amazing to me. That I was still able to do all of this with all the holidays we've been having. And you know, November is a month. Every teacher loves November, I believe. Especially in my district now that we have Thanksgiving off for a week, and then we have Veterans Day, and there's some PD days. We barely see the kids. And when we do see them, we're testing them. So November is a really cool month. The weather changes, people's attitudes change because the holidays are here. So it's a very good month. But you know, for me to still make out with $128 less, it's not too damaging for me. All right, so let me give you my takeaways. Now, TPT is scaring me. I'm concerned. I'm happy, but I'm concerned. And I don't want them to get in my head, but I think they're getting into my head a little bit. Now we're canceling everything, and some districts are banning TPT, and we can't teach certain things with some states and districts. Some districts are opting for these poorly thought out programs that are costly to the district instead of, you know, having teachers get products or resources from TPT. Teachers with the economy can't afford to support as many of us on TPT. So there's a lot going on. And so I'm a little bit concerned about it. And then I have to keep reminding myself, everyone that shops on TPT is not from America. They're not from my district. They're not from my state even. And so there's hope at the end of the tunnel, thinking that there's always going to be someone to make some purchases. And I will say to that point, January is day 4. Today's Thursday, the 4th, I believe. It's been I've been making some sales, man. I guess people got their Christmas money. I don't know what it is, but I've been making some sales. But I can't wait to make that video for the next time. Now, what I did sell a lot of in November, that's why my November was the best month in all 3 of the months for the quarter. My holiday bundle, my holiday products, my seasonal products. Now we talk about seasonal products, excuse me. We talk about seasonal products on TPT a lot, and I teach ELA for high school and middle school, and a lot of times we don't do all the little seasonal stuff for elementary school that elementary school teachers go through, and all this other cutesy stuff. We don't really do that. But I have a products or 3 products, you know, I've been able to manipulate it enough to get 3 products out of it, and it's been selling like hotcakes. I'll hopefully remember to drop the link down below. You can check it out, even if you don't buy it right now, but it would be nice if you did. And that's been making my November very great. So I have to do something with it, like maybe kick it up a notch for 2024, all right, and see how that goes. But anyway, those have been selling a lot, so that's what helped me out. You know what's been, when you look at the traffic, my blog, that I think nobody's paying attention to because they're not signing up, but I'm gonna leave that alone. They're not subscribing as much as I want. YouTube, you guys, and my note to followers, baby, those have been kicking butt. I've been making a lot of sales. Now, obviously, most of my sales come from Teachers Pay Teachers, but note to followers is what's been sending people to it. So, guys, and now that we can schedule your behinds out, go months in advance, just keep sending them out. People are paying attention. My blog, I've been getting some sales from that, and YouTube. So that's been helping out. That's a takeaway. Keep doing those things. Or if you haven't done it yet, try them out, okay? Strategic plan for next year and goals. I've been watching, I'm part of RTA, Rebranded Teacher Academy with Lauren Fulton, and I know it in the back of my head, but I never did it, you know. I just make lists. I have a list for everything. I have books with my lists everywhere. Sometimes I forget I have a list, so I start a new list of the same thing that I had a list for, and I forget and whatever. But she said one thing, that instead of just putting that you're making X product, put the time you're making it and the time you're scheduling it and the time and the time and the time. And I never thought about it. I'm like, okay, today I'm just gonna make this and let me just make this and whatever. Or let me just schedule all day today. She's like, give yourself time frames, like between 10 and 11, and then 11 to 12 you do this, and 12 to 1, and so on and so forth. And I just thought about it. I'm going to try to do that more strategically, this. And she uses that word a lot. She loves talking about being strategic instead of just being or just doing. Do things strategically. So I'm going to try to do that more in 2024. That's a part of my other video, so hang on tight. And I'm going to set these goals and try to keep up with it, because as much as I will not have a lot of downtime, the downtime I have, or the time I do have with my store, needs to be strategic. So those are my takeaways. I'm concerned about the future of TPT and the future of my store. However, I'm happy where it is right now. Make your holiday products, your seasonal resources. Use your note to followers. Use your blog if you have one. Use your YouTube if you have one, and make strategic plans. Always focus on dates and times, because it helps to focus your journey, focus your planning, focus your creating, and you'll be fine. Now that's Q4 report. Catch you in the other one. I plan to do a lot better with my videos, and that's all the time I have for you right now. Love y'all. See you in the next video.